Welcome to this new Reno Race pre-release testing video. In this video we're gonna look at how you can, change the controls, because by default, if you're using the Xbox controller for controlling the aircraft, it could be that you're facing some challenges, especially because it's, reacting too fast. So to change that, what you need to do is you need to go to the control options, and there you will find the sensitivity. So based on the sensitivity, you will see that you have the sensitivity plus and minus for both the left joystick, so the LS, but also if you would scroll to the bottom, you can find them for the right joystick, so the RSI and the RSX and the LSX and LXI. So by default they're set to -50, but you might even want to adjust them further because they're reacting, let's say, pretty fast. As you can see, that if I'm moving left or right, it goes directly to the maximum, and you might want to change that, right? So you can do that, for example, with the LSX. You can put them like here, and then you will see that it reacts slower. And the same thing can be done for the for this one, and then also moving to the right will go slower. Doesn't mean that I would say up and down goes slower, but only left and right goes slower. That might be suitable if you're having, I would say, an overreacting airplane, which by default happens, I would say, especially in a Reno race airplanes, as far as I found out. So let's also change the LSI one and then see if we can play a match. So we're gonna change them to, I would say, this, and then we need to select done, and then hit OK. Save, going back to defaults, and then we can find a multiplayer quick match. Keep in mind that it also affects, of course, the joystick, let's say, sensitivity within this piece, right? So if you can see that if I'm now moving left or right, it also goes slower, at least for my feeling, it goes slower compared to what it was previously. So we're gonna mark ourselves as ready, and then we're gonna fly a new flight with a T6 Texan aircraft. So let's see how that goes. So first we need to do the qualification, and after that we can do the, I would say, real flight. There are sometimes, I would say, weird things happening, right? You just saw the other aircraft, say, driving or taxiing in front of me. There you have it again. And then sometimes it disappears. I'm not sure what it is. I do think it might be one of the issues which is happening as part of the pre-testing. It could also be that you're sometimes losing connectivity. Maybe that's the reason. So let's change the options, because in the options you can also switch on the option to show the flight path. And I would say that sometimes help, especially if you are starting it, these kind of things, then it will definitely help you because you understand how to fly the circuit. So it's loading, as you can see. So we're gonna do the qualification first, and after the qualification we're gonna do the race. Depending on the race type, it are either 6 or 8 laps. It depends. I would say there's depends on the aircraft you're using. So let's see how this works. It's a really nice aircraft, as you can see. I really like this one. So 3, 2, 1, and here we go. You can see that this one is a little bit slower compared to, for example, jets, but it's nicely flying, and also, as you can see, it now gives us the direction in which we need to go. And in this case, I see that I would say, up and down, that's the sensitivity that's probably was pretty good, and I really need to change back because it's now reacting pretty slowly. And as you can see, then I'm also almost getting penalized for it, which I of course don't want. Too late. So I would say the left and right, it was probably the good change. I would say the up and down, and that might be something which I want to change back to a little bit more sensitive. You see, so it's not always a good idea to change sensitivity too much, but unfortunately we can't test it, I would say, really good in this pre-release. Then we're crashing again. So probably for the race itself we're gonna change the sensitivity back to normal. It's better too sensitive than, I would say, sensitive like this, because you can see I'm pulling back the stick almost 100% completely, and it slowly reacts. Let's say it's too slow. This will be a nightmare, this qualification. But that's not an issue, because we can always try to improve during the race itself.
Careful, you're too high.
Yeah,
if you
we know.
continue like this, you'll be penalized.
And then we're also missing this one, and then we need
Well, you didn't qualify a legal lap, but you can still
apply
win.
and cut, so then we need to, I'd say, start from the back.
Watch your altitude. You're too high.
So a nightmare qualification. But again, the qualification is only the starting point, right? The next phase is the race itself, and I would say that could completely change what we're doing. So let me go back to the control options, and then hit the reset button for sensitivity. So you can go back to sensitivity and then say, okay, hey, please reset these values, and then go to done, and then hit apply and save, and then go back. So you can see that in some cases you might need to adjust them, but in this case with this aircraft I'm not sure if I would say changing them too much, right? It was already set to -50, changing them to -100 might be too much, so you might start to decrease them with -10 and then start to see, okay, hey, does it really help, yes or no? For example, I did fly the Jet series also with this game, but that was, I would say, reacting so fast it was almost unflyable, at least from my perspective. But that might be also a personal preference, right? So let's see what the other player does do from qualifying perspective. Probably he did, I would say, fly much faster than I did, because I changed the, changed the joystick settings too much. So here we go. Three, two, one, and then we're starting the race.
Nice, you've got the inside track now. Let's keep it.
Okay, this is really weird. This is something I didn't expect, right? It already comes with the race results. Probably it's due to the fact that the other player lost his or her connectivity, right? So I now did one. So it looks like this is a bug, so I will start reporting this with Asobo. In this video we looked at how you can fly and how you can change the control sensitivity. You saw that during the qualification it was not that good, which resulted in, I would say, poor qualification. So you might want to change it per aircraft, right? If you're flying the jets, you might want to set the sensitivity less, while if you're flying this aircraft, you might to keep the default settings. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then feel free to drop them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.